So there's been a recent petition advocating for President Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso to become the president of Africa as a whole. And today we're going to discuss why. My name is Ambassador Tim Ford Jr. of the African Union AUCS, and I've been living over in East Africa, Tanzania for almost 5 years now. And I help my people invest, rebuild, and return over back to the continent of Africa. But today, we're going to talk about the petition that's going around the continent of Africa that's asking for President Captain Ibrahim Traore to become the president of all of Africa. So let's dive in. There's been a recent petition for President Ibrahim Traore to become the president of the continent of Africa and send the current leaders home. And the petition has gained a lot of traction in spreading widespread debate across the continent of Africa right now. But what does the petition actually signify? And can such a transformation actually be achieved? Let's find out. Traore has made huge accomplishments since coming into power in 2022. He has positioned himself as a president who is a defender of African sovereignty, and he's someone who is implementing policies and programs to strengthen his people without the help of foreign aid. One of his main focuses is strengthening the agricultural infrastructure, putting a strong emphasis on organic farming practices in order to strengthen the soil, in order to yield crops, and also in order to feed the country and the entire world at the same time. He's also shipped in thousands of farming equipment and tractors valued at about 20 million USD to put into the local farmers' hand in order to industrialize the farming industry so that they can begin cultivating the land the way that it needs to be cultivated. And by redirecting a portion of the 2025 defense budget towards agriculture, irrigation, and mechanized farming, he's made huge moves towards strengthening his people and rising up the morale within his country and giving his people the tools and the strength to come together and build up their country. Now, this petition is a reflection of the large-scale Pan-African sentiments that's going on all across the continent of Africa. Many people feel that the leaders of certain countries do not put the people first in the development of their countries. They just align their pockets and do what the Western people tell them to do. So many of the African people here on the land, they are tired of the leaders that they have in place. They have been vocal about it, and they've been standing up. And this petition is only more evidence that people are waking up and deciding to take the power into their own hands. They want someone who champions African sovereignty by reducing reliance on Western institutions and the aid that they provide. They want someone to unify the continent and combat the corrupt leaders who are in place and taking advantage of the people in these current times right now. And they want someone to promote self-reliance by fostering economic growth, industrialization, and technological advancements. Now, this is a bold statement by the people of Africa who started this petition and who are signing this petition and bringing it to life. But can it actually be done? That's the question we all are asking right now, I'm sure. Now, the concept of one African leader is not new. Leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, Muammar Gaddafi, and Thomas Sankara recently advocated for a United States of Africa. But of course, there are a few challenges standing in the way to making that happen. For example, the political structure. Africa is a continent with 54 different countries with distinct political systems, ideologies, interests, tribes, and cultures. Something like this will require extensive constitutional and diplomatic restructuring. Also, we have economic disparities all across the continent of Africa. There are huge economic gaps between African countries. Nations like South Africa and Nigeria have more developed economies, while other nations actually struggle with poverty. And of course, we have the colonial legacies and the borders that's in place. Those borders in place in turn leads to political tension because people have boundaries that they see and they have put in place. So they feel like, hey, this is mine, this is yours, we can't work together, let me fight you, let me come take that, let me steal that. This is how people are feeling because of the colonial borders that are put in place. And of course, opposition from global powers. If Africa was to become one, that will take a lot of global powers out of power because so many countries benefit from Africa being split up the way that it's split up. The Berlin Conference happened a long time ago, but they are still reaping the benefits of what they put in place during the Berlin Conference. So for this to come to life is something that they really do not want. And of course, they will have interference in trying to stop what's going on. That's what happened to two of the leaders that I just mentioned, Muammar Gaddafi and Thomas Sankara. They actually were infiltrated by other world leaders to stop the movement that they had to implement things and try to create a one Africa. So there's always an Uncle Tom, a hater, or someone that doesn't want to see the people come together, trying to be in the cut and stop what's going on. But the times are changing and we are fighting up against them more and more. And we are still standing strong and making it happen. And who knows? One day we may see a one Africa, because we will not stop and we will not quit. Now, even though challenges are there, people feel like President Captain Ibrahim Traore can actually do it because he has a strong anti-colonial stance. One of the first things he did was actually kick the French out of his country because of the unfair deals that they had in place and the colonialization that had been going on since they so-called gained independence. Another thing he has to his advantage is youthful leadership. Many of the people on the African continent are tired of seeing the same old leadership being in place. They are looking for something new, something young, something vibrant that's going to help the people rise up and have the mindset and the vision of the future to help all people. And he also has military and strategic experience. By him being in the military, people feel like he has the right mentality and understand the perfect strategies in order to bring the continent together as a whole and build it up the way that it needs to be built up. And last but certainly not least, he has a vision for self-sufficiency. By him kicking the French out of his country, by him reallocating some of the budget in order to help the people fund themselves to move and do what they need to do, and him championing organic farming to feed the country and then the world, is him thinking on a grand scale for them to fend for themselves and develop themselves and not continue to depend on Western aid. When Donald Trump cut off the U.S. aid over to the continent of Africa, many of the leaders were over here scrambling and trying to figure out what they were going to do, while President Ibrahim Traore was implementing things and getting things sent over to his country so that his people can really and do the work to rely on themselves. Since we're here, gotta show y'all some of the products real quick.
This are natural body ready. Not your body.
Yeah, natural product.
Not your body.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
your
Yeah. Come closer. Come. Busy Beachy. Now, there has been many mixed reactions to the petition from political analysts, the government officials that are in place, and the public opinion that's going on the continent of Africa. Some of the supporters argue that the current leadership across Africa failed to address key issues such as poverty, corruption, and foreign exploitation. Critics believe that a single African leader is an impractical and unrealistic vision, citing the African Union's inefficiency in implementing such a political shift. And governments across Africa have largely ignored the petition. Many view Traore's leadership as a challenge to the status quo. A lot of them like, hey man, I ain't got nothing to say. I don't know what they doing. I ain't trying to get involved in that. That's going against what we got going on. They not even trying to touch it. They not mentioning, they not saying anything. But you have some that's championing him, that's standing beside him. But a lot of them haven't said anything. So that shows you the mixed reactions that's going on over here on the continent of Africa. But I'm interested to hear what your reaction is. What do you think about this petition going on across the continent of Africa? Would you sign it? What do you think? Do you think he should be the president of all of Africa? And do you think it's possible? Do you think it's something that we will see during our lifetime? Will we be able to do something and make something like this happen? Please comment in the comment box and let me know what you think. And let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know where you're watching us from on the continent of Africa or wherever you spread out about in the entire world. Let me know where you're watching us from. I love to see and connect with my people from all around the world. So let us know where you're tuning in from. Make sure if you're enjoying this content, you come back. And if you haven't already, subscribe so that you can get notified when we upload so that you can see what's going on. We will continue to bring updated information about the continent of Africa and the history that has been lied to us about so that we can know the truth and move forward with the right mindset during these times. So make sure you stay tuned to the content because we got plenty more where this came from. If you're thinking about coming to the continent of Africa, I offer a free document and a free course that gives you the foundation so that you can make a smooth transition if that's what you're trying to do. If you want those free sources, click the link in my description box. You can get those and it'll help you be prepared when you're trying to make your transition over to the continent of Africa. And if you need one-on-one help to figure out how you can come over here, I offer consultations as well. If you're interested in getting that, click the link in the description box and I will help you out. We offer Swahili courses as well for those who are interested in learning the language of Swahili so that they can be competent when they decide to come over here. If you're interested in any of those, click the link in the description box and we got you. Now, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I don't take it for granted that you stayed tuned to the end. I hope this was able to bring you some value and you see that we are waking up as a people and we are finally sounding the alarm and we're standing bold and strongly and we're coming together and we're voicing our opinions and making it be known. So what do you guys think? Let me know. I'm excited to see what you think about this petition and how y'all think it's gonna go. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all stay safe out there and keep the shalom peace and don't let these people stop you. All right, y'all stay focused. Shalom.